When Prince Harry returned back to the United Kingdom here for the Platinum Jubilee, there was an emotional moment, and it's not been recorded, but this really was a turning point, we are told, in the very sort of difficult, challenging times for Harry, who is now battling his, well, shall we say, forward thinking, Was he too hasty? Should he have sat back a bit and thought it through? But there was this pivotal moment during that particular ceremony that truly did change his thought process. But as ever, what was it? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to see you today. Now today we're outside a brilliant building, the Royal Academy of Music, in the very centre of London. It's a beautiful place, by the way. This is where, really since 1872 I might point out, is where if you were any good at anything musical, you really could excel. Of course for a price. What I like about this particular place though, and I've filmed in here previously before, it is just stacked with talent. I mean, it really is, and there are sort of incredible talents as well. I don't even realise, I don't think, should I say, they realise how talented many of them are, because they start out at such a young age. What's interesting, if you are a fan and you're looking for stuff to do, there are on occasions very free concerts to come along here in their main concert hall, mainly on a lunchtime, but occasionally on the evenings too. So if you are looking for something to do for free in London and fancy a free concert by some of the superstars of tomorrow, then this truly is well worth a visit. The Royal Academy of Music is just off Marylebone, but as I say, well worth a look in. Yes, back to your Breaking World story of the day. This particular story really is, not really too surprising when you think. As we told you before, when Prince Harry returned back here for the Platinum Jubilee, it must have been very difficult for him because, as we now know, he tried to, shall we say, politely engineer something of a return via that flying visit to Windsor when he was popping over to the Invictus Games in the Netherlands. That seemingly didn't work, and then he spoke out very openly, didn't he, about the right people around Her Majesty the Queen. Obviously a sly dig about that, and that didn't work. But there was one thing, of course, that absolutely broke Prince Harry down, and he was wearing it at the Thanksgiving service in St. Paul's alongside his wife Meghan Markle. It was, of course, the medal given to him by our gracious monarch as a thank you, and now he wasn't the only one, of course. Many people got them, including Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie and their husbands, the Earl of Snowdon, many others, of course, as well as frontline workers who have been serving actively over the last 5 years as a huge thank you to all the hard work that they were doing. Now, according to a very good source, Prince Harry was visibly moved when this turned up. Truly, this is a bit of a bombshell, because I think it really hit home to him. Really, the fact that everything else has been stripped away from him, as we know, his medals, his army stuff, all of that type of thing is gone. He's not allowed to wear that necessarily in public anymore, and we know that cut really through. But to receive this back from our gracious monarch apparently really set, as we say often, the cat among the pigeons. Now, obviously for someone like Meghan Markle, she doesn't necessarily understand the true value of what those things can mean, particularly to someone who's been brought up in that household, regimented, schooled in that ever since they were born. And this apparently, according to a very good source, and as ever, allegedly, created something of a bit of friction. But for Harry, as I say, he was very proud to be seen wearing it. He kept touching it throughout. A lot of people were speculating that he was hiding a microphone. That really was the true story. He couldn't quite believe that he'd actually been given this by Her Majesty. I think he felt on this occasion that he may have been overlooked. But I thought it was a gracious move by her, and also a very savvy move, because it really, really brought home back to him exactly just what he'd left behind. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.